Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anything Liverpool. I'm here tonight, joined by West and Drew to discuss Liverpool's defeat away at the Etihad.
Google protocol.
Was um, it was a game. Um, Not really sure how else to put that. I think it was a bit unfair, but at the end of the day, I don't really deserve anything out of the game either way. So it is what it is. If you're new around here, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, leave your thoughts in the comments as well. We'd love to hear from you and kind of, let us know what went wrong today, what happened from your perspective, and everything. If you can find any positives, that would be great because I'm struggling, but we're gonna get into that too. West, how's your evening, mate?
Yeah, my email is decent. Yeah, I'm just fine. Yeah, that's it.
Fair enough. Drew, how's your morning?
Not off to the best start. I'm doing my best to get done what I need to get done today, but certainly in the Liverpool part hasn't been enjoyable. You, Mihai, how you holding up?
Yeah, I think the worst part of for you, Drew, is that you're off to a pretty bad start for the day. Like that being the first thing you see today, I think is puts you not the best of moods. But yeah, um, I'm doing. I'm I'm thinking about the international break. I think it's once again not a bad moment for us to go into that, considering what's happened in the past few matches. But yeah. Um, so let's kind of get into that. Drew, sorry, I'm gonna start actually. Yeah, let's start with West. Um, West 3-0 defeat. It seemed like things were maybe getting better after winning against Villa and Madrid.
Tell the truth.
I can, yeah, okay. Drew, it seemed like performances were getting a bit better after the wins against Villa and Madrid, but apparently it's not. It hasn't. They haven't. I mean, I think we're now what 7, 8 points off first place. I don't even know if we're thinking about that, to be honest, because it's just been way too inconsistent, and it seems like we cannot string a few wins along. And moreover, I think the game's kind of problematic because the way we're playing, I think we've touched on it a bit before going live as well. I think we're lacking intensity, and it seems like last season, especially in the first half of the season, that was kind of the main thing with this side. We were always highly energetic. The pressing was great. We were getting a lot of balls in the final third, but then this season it just seems like we're not we're not really at that stage anymore. So 3-0 defeat. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's like problems probably our expectations, like as supporters and as like a club. I can imagine the players themselves, like we're expecting to win, we're expecting to be first, we're expecting to be the best team, like in the league, in Europe, etc. And can't say we've shown that this season. Maybe like a brief glimpse here or there, but after like the four defeats in a row, I remember when we beat Villa, I'm just like, okay, step in the right direction. But keyword for me is the step in the right direction. Real Madrid is another step in the right direction. But the two steps forward, one step back, especially in the manner it was today. Like we were talking about, like maybe not expecting to win this game, but I really wanted to see a positive performance. Like you can lose a hard fought game and it just doesn't fall your way in the end, but you want to be able to take something positive from that game. And as you asked the viewers, and please comment, like were there positives that you could take from this game? And I feel like with the steps forward kind of thing, it's like that's what you want to take. But this game, it was a big step back. And I think as supporters and as a club, we have to change kind of expectations. Like it's not like, oh, give up on the league at this point. Obviously, we're not even halfway through, but it's like we shouldn't be thinking or putting that in context. We should be thinking about getting this team to click, like playing well, like stopping or being more solidified defensively, like all those things. So yeah, it was a really disappointing game, like very depressing. Like was very angry at certain points in the game, and but now it's kind of like, how do you move forward? And it's try to sort this out. That's on Slot at the end of the day, and we'll see if he can do it. I think he can. I hope he does. But how are you feeling, Mihai? Like, overall thoughts?
Uh, I think it's, on one hand, I think we didn't really deserve anything out of the game, and that's it. Like, we deserve to lose, and we weren't really up for it tonight. But when you look at it, I think it's also a bit unfair. The 3-0 scoreline is a bit unfair because I think it wasn't that big of a difference. Especially with the kind of, I think they won every 50-50, which was like, a bit frustrating to watch. I think they got a penalty for a soft touch. We got a goal disallowed for a it was a questionable decision, I suppose, even though I think in the end it was fair. The second goal they scored, it was basically probably would have been easily saved by Mardashvili without the deflection from Van Dijk. I think they got a bit lucky in these instances, but overall, I think we simply weren't up for it, and that's the frustrating bit because you were hoping after beating Villa, after beating Madrid, we were kind of going into this break with a good result. Because I think that if you look at the fixtures, we're basically playing. We have Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds. We have really good fixtures in the upcoming weeks, and I think we can obviously get a few wins in a row now. But it would have been great to go into those fixtures without losing any more points or dropping any more points. But yeah, I think what was a bit frustrating tonight. It was the fact that I think City managed to bypass our pressing so easily. I think I think if you remember for the first goal, basically the ball got to Nunes in on the flank for the cross for the first goal. Basically, got there after City managed to bypass like 7 or 8 of our players who were in their final third for a press. They got out of there pretty easily, and then um, perfect cross for Holland, and that was it. So yeah, I think as I've said a bit earlier as well, it's every time we went forward, it just didn't seem like we had any intensity on any attack until I think we kind of started to have some, like let's say a bit more of a more dangerous approach. I think in like after it was 2-0, after it was like past the 50th minute. Until then, it was just deflating. So yeah, um, West, what did you make of that? Was that a fair result? What did you make of the game and our performance, especially?
First of all, I apologize. I was just helping my mom with stuff, so now I'm back. And I kind of agree with you. It was like I said, Aston Villa game. You know what? Baby steps. Baby steps. You're gonna crawl. Then Madrid. I was like, okay, like one step at a time, maybe right direction. And then this performance, like you see, I was gonna take a 2-1 loss. Not personally, I predict, but I was gonna take a 2-1 loss if we fought. But then this game, like we looked so deflated. I don't know what happened. I think maybe we put energy in the Madrid game compared to at least we could have balanced it out. Like I don't know if we're gonna win the league. Like I don't know if can we win the league from this point. I said if like the gap goes double digits, for me, I think we need to cut the league off. But then like 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 I wanted to ask like was that an offside though? Like because since the rumor does see the goal, and like I'm not even complaining, but then like the rumor saw the balls, but then like I don't think you are saving it even though there wasn't Robertson, you know. But then like the game looked so bad. Like we're so open. We letting players take shots from far end. Like yeah, that's it. Like I'm just in disbelief. I thought maybe this game, if we say we won this game, we go on a run. And I see you, and I see like me how you also mentioning our fixtures. Are you sure can we win those games though? Are you sure we can? Like, can you trust these guys to go win those games? Like, let's be honest at this point. Are we sure can they're easy fixtures on paper? But then, do you think these guys can go win? Do you think these guys can go beat West Ham? Forest beats us last season. Forest can do, and Sean Dyche, come on. I really don't know. So I hope it's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's for me. The fixtures are easy on paper, but yeah, it's obviously you can drop points in them. My point was that you were going in as the favorites, and in our position during this whole run that we've just had and with all the points that we've dropped, I think we kind of have to go into these and win every single one of them if we want to, if we want to go for anything this season. But yeah, obviously it can, but realistically, the league's really, really going to be really hard to achieve. But the I'm trying to be a bit more of an optimist than I used to be. So I'm thinking if we get 5-6 wins in a row out of those fixtures, which is definitely feasible, we can reassess after that, and hopefully we can bridge the gap a bit. But yeah, it can go either way on obviously, because the fixtures aren't necessarily, you can find faults or find things that you're unsure about in any of those. But yeah, so yeah, let's actually kind of have that conversation, because West, you touched upon the disallowed goal. Drew, as I said a bit earlier, it feels like every 50-50 kind of went in their favor, and not only in terms of duels, but also in terms of decisions. And when you look at it, they got a pretty soft penalty. I'm not sure what you feel about that. And then also we got a goal disallowed at 1-0, which obviously would have kind of changed the game. And 1-0, it's all to play for. But at 1-0, at 1-0, sorry, we had a disallowed goal. Basically, Robertson ducked like 3 yards away from the goal, which I think for me has to be offside. Even though I do agree that if Robertson wasn't there, it would have been a goal either way. I don't think the Donnarumma would have gotten to that. I think that's not necessarily controversial to say, but ducking in front of the ball 3 yards away from goal, I think you kind of have to give it. So I'm not sure how you think about that, but for me, I think the penalty and the disallowed goal, even though extremely harsh, were both correct.
Yeah, I thought the penalty, it's like fair play. You touched his foot, and like I thought him taking a step, Doku taking a step afterwards showed that it didn't really affect him that much. But at the same time, it's like you gave the ref that opportunity to give the penalty. There was contact in the box. All that makes sense. Like that one, I wasn't, bummed about. It's kind of like we put ourselves in that position after the Kanate fumble in the back. And then for the Van Dijk goal, I actually thought like when they showed the reverse angle from the keeper view, he sees it the whole time. So for me, that was the thing. It's like, does Robertson action impede his like view of the ball or his decision? And I think it was going that way. And it's not like Donnarumma like reacted to Robertson at all in that phase. That's what I saw. And then like Robertson did not make an attempt for the ball. He tried to get out of the way. And the fact that you're getting like Tim Howard and other like pundits saying like that kind of line to me kind of says that that was dubious. But for me, the fact that they just like okayed it like that, they were just like, nope, out of here. And then when you've seen, I think everyone's frustration with VAR and refs is the inconsistencies. It's like you've seen City get goals for that. Same scenario, like at least two off the top of my head that I know that City were allowed for goals for exact same things and sometimes worse, where the player made an attempt on the ball kind of thing. But for me, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's the decision. Then you have to move on. Like you have to move forward. It's like we didn't get the goal. And after that point, it's like you can't rely on things going your way to like affect how you play the game. I think if you look at Villa, we got lucky. Like Martinez gave Salah the goal, and then we got the deflection goal from Gravenberch for his goal. So it's like on the day you say we played really well, we deserve that win. Create your own luck kind of thing. It's like, well, we didn't have the luck today, but we didn't really do much to create it either. So calls go against you. Every club knows that. You could say us more than most, but probably every club equally knows that decisions can go against you. So while I don't think the goal should have been disallowed, I don't think the fact that it got disallowed should give us any excuse for how we played that game.
Yeah, I do agree, and I think I know the at least one of the goals that you mean by City. I remember it was a Wolves game, I think at the Etihad, which yeah I do recall. I was watching that. I was really confused as to why it wasn't disallowed. But yeah, tonight I think as you're saying, the thing that I do agree with is the the speed basically is it was how fast they kind of brushed it off, and it was like yeah, it was offside, and then 3 seconds later play was resumed and everything was fine. But like they didn't really um, um, even have a proper thought about it. I saw the Twitter post that said Robertson made an obvious action towards the ball, which I thought I mean, that was basically an inaction rather, right? Because he ducked out of the way, but I mean, I guess it depends on how you want to frame it, but yeah, at least the motivation was weird because like if that's why you disallow the goal, then it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, I think for me, the reason why I get why it was disallowed, it was the fact that Robertson was basically right in front of goal, and even though the ball would have gone in without Robertson being there, I think I see the grounds to disallow it. But once again, if that was the motivation, then it's a bit, yeah. But as you said, I think that was kind of the main problem tonight. It was once we didn't get the decision, once we didn't get the 50-50s, it was like we kind of gave up on it. And I think that first half, once again, they were extremely lucky on the second goal because they got that out of basically a deflection. But even so, yeah, I think they were all over us in the first half, and that was kind of the problem. I think we tried to absorb the pressure, but the problem, and I think this is why I don't really like this style of play where you try and stay low and then try and counter. The problem with that is that when you put yourself under all of that pressure, you are at risk of conceding exactly the type of goal that we conceded. At the end of the first half, basically a deflected shot away from goal basically would have been easily saved without the deflection, but it went in, and 2-0 down, and it was a lot harder in the second half. So yeah, West. I'm going to try and ask for any positives. Was there anything that you saw tonight that was fairly encouraging or that you thought was, up to the standards it should have been?
No, first half I liked for versus the way he played. That's it. I have no positives today. Like maybe Soboslai like trying to run, like kicking Foden. I like that because I don't like Foden. But then I can't. I'll be lying if I find positive. I'll be very delusional to find positive in this game. There's no positive. The boys are actually pathetic. Like they could like it got to a point where it's like they couldn't string five passes together. The one thing that pissed me off that they were offside constantly, and I don't know why they were offside all the time. Salah, oh God, Salah and Ekitike, they were all offside, and I questioned them like, what type of performance is like? I really don't know what's going on with this team, to be honest. I'm baffled, I have nothing to say.
Yeah, well,
I got one positive, Mihai.
go on.
Mamadashvili. I know, like for me, he didn't really have like any fault in any of the goals. Like it'd be hard to
Yeah,
put blame on him for any of those goals. Big save against Holland for the penalty, and I thought like he had a nervy start once he replaced Allison in that first, like I think the United game. I was very critical of that first goal from Embuemo, if I'm remembering correctly. But since then, I feel like he's deputized extremely well. And the difference for me with him and Kelleher was I felt like Kelleher had some weaknesses to him, or like versus like Kelleher's hitting his peak already, if that makes sense, versus Mamadashvili. I feel like he's like really stepping into that role, and you can really see why Liverpool selected him as the Allison successor, because he does look like he has that presence stepping up into that role. So that was the only positive. I think saving a penalty from Holland was huge, and like he really felt his presence in that way. But then, Still 3-0, but I don't think you can put any of the goals on him.
Yeah, I think that that's kind of what I meant, because you said that you can't put any of the goals on him. That's kind of what I meant in terms of these 50-50s. It was basically the first goal basically hit Holland's head, literally. It just hit his head and went in because the cross was just that good. Second goal deflected. The third goal, wonder strike by Doku, which never gets them. By the way, he managed to score that goal just when playing against us. He had a great game, to be fair, but yeah. Um, it's just it's a bit frustrating, but yeah, as you said, I don't think we're that accustomed to seeing our goalkeeper save penalties because it just doesn't happen that often. But yeah, I think he had a good game. I think Soboslai obviously trying putting up a fight, but I think one other player that I was really disappointed with, West, once again, Mo Salah. I think we've talked about it a few times. Obviously, it's not. We've seen what happened on Twitter. People basically, the comments that he's had on Instagram, on Twitter, and stuff like that. It's just obviously not what we're going for here. I think it was obviously too much, but judging his performances alone, once again, it seems like we tried to get a lot of balls going towards Mo Salah. I think especially in the first half, that was apparent. A lot of our attacks were down on the right hand side, with Mo Salah obviously not doing a lot. Ekitike was basically, always surrounded by 2-3 City players. Didn't really have a chance, and then obviously we didn't really get too many balls outside of those spaces. So, um, do you think it was tactically an issue tonight? Do you think Slot kind of messed up the tactics tonight, or it was just a bit of, you know, let's say the players just didn't really put up a fight?
For me, I look at it 60 tactics, 40% the player. 60%, Salah, like he has that trademark way, he likes traveling the ball to a number nine. You take out Ekitike and you put Vert. Vert was not in the box. How many times did Soboslai Kirkis cross the ball and was not in the box? Like, we look at that situation. Why are you taking out the striker? Of course, Isak is not injured. Okay, then don't take Ekitike off. Ekitike is not an injury-prone player. Like, for me, that confused me the most. Like, why do you take a number nine and then all of a sudden Liverpool start crossing balls and there's no one up front? So I look at that situation where now Salah, for me, I don't think he had a bad game because I think everything was going through him. But then Salah always had that Travella trademark to a number nine, and there was no number nine. So for me, like, I look at the manager now, like, yes, the players didn't show up, but you also left us dry also by taking on a number nine. Like, you don't take on a number nine, then your goals are gonna come on. Like, you when I saw Ekitike come off, yeah, I thought now okay, maybe 10 minutes Isak will come on. And I kept seeing Isak in the bench, and I knew that today it's going to be a clean sheet for City, which I'm very pissed off about. Like, I'm completely angry now. Like, clean sheet City, a team that I've been saying all season these guys can be got at, and they just put a clean sheet on our head tops. Like, come on, like the manager, like I don't know if like today, yeah, I look at the manager and I look at the players, then I look at most at the manager. You setting us up. Why are we open? Why are players having chances to take shot outside the box? Caicedo did that. Nico Gonzalez, which I found very average, did that also. Like, there's bare players who are taking shot outside the box with us now because they know that now these guys are open. So yeah, nothing I can say. Salah, Salah, like I do like Salah, but then like this game, I don't blame him per se because you left him hung to dry then at the wings. There was no number nine.
Yeah, Drew, one of the things that I noticed, especially in the first half, was that every time they managed to bypass our pressing, they always had a lot of situations where they were one on one down the wings. Basically, I thought a lot of times we had a lot of men in the middle, but not really haven't really covered down on the wings, and they've kind of taken advantage of it a few times with the penalty basically where the initial attack was on Doku's side once again. With the second goal, and basically once again they were in the down the wing and then managed to get the ball in the center, and nobody really pressed Nico for that shot. I think tactically tonight, Slot didn't really have his best performance, let's say.
Yeah, I think for me with the Salah slot thing is like Salah talked about how Slot gave him free reign last year. That was a big discussion about giving him that free reign, not to have as many defensive responsibilities, so he could have that offensive output. And that works when Salah scores and assists as much as he did. I think because he's so out like in a funk, like his decision making isn't at his best. Like there's times where he takes on the shot when he should be squaring it, like looking for another player in a better position. I think that happened a couple times today, but he's just not on his game goals wise, and I think that's affecting him. But on the defensive side, like when you looked at those when Doku had the ball, who was double teaming him? It was Bradley and Gravenberch. And like under Klopp, it would have been Bradley and Salah. Like that's like the winger would drop back to help out the right back, kind of. That's how it worked with Trent. I know Henderson would cover for Trent as well, but I feel like Salah's just not contributing as much defensively. And then on offense, yeah, like West said when like the offsides, I wasn't sure why he's offside so much. It's just so hard. Like I do put this on Slot in terms of it's his responsibility to get the team to click. Like I don't think it's his fault for like the funk and the players like mentality, but it's his job, like literally his job to pick the players up and get them motivated for the game. You can say like, "Oh, you should be motivated as soon as you get on the pitch, etc." It's like, sure, but it's Slot like he's in charge of that. Like he's in charge of the environment, the energy, etc. It starts from him. Like you can't just say like, well, the players aren't playing for him kind of thing. Like look at Man United kind of thing. You could say sour grapes, yada yada, but we don't have that really at Liverpool. No one's like petulant children. Like everyone wants to play well. We're just in a funk. And I do think Slot can get us out of it, but this is probably the biggest test of his career. Like, you say that with I'm jumping around, but like with Pep Guardiola, like could he rebuild a team? Like yes, he's got the checkbook, etc. But that was one thing he never really did in his career was rebuild a team from scratch, kind of thing. And this for Slot, it's like he's had to do that. He took over an efficient functioning machine under Klopp's team and just made some little tweaks and brought everyone up to 100% to win last year. But now he's essentially blowing it up and trying to start new. And, add Jota's death in there, which I do think people are like dismissing the mentality effect on some of the senior players. But like again, Slot's the head of the family. He's got to get us back on track, and he has to be up to the task. That's where it comes down to.
Yeah, fair enough. I look at I'm hoping that it's just temporary thing. Basically, I think we kind of touched on it a bit in the past few weeks, months, even that it was going to take some time for Slot to kind of have a better idea of how his tactics are going to change when I don't know, Isaac plays, when Ekitike plays, when both play, when Wirtz plays in the middle, when Wirtz plays on the left, and Frimpong, Bradley, Kerkez, Robertson, obviously a lot of things that have changed. And I think it's up to him now to find the better or the best solutions for when everyone's on the pitch. So, yeah, we're going to wait and see. One last thing that I wanted to ask you, lads, and one thing that I've been thinking, I've mentioned it in the beginning of the stream that we're going to have a good run basically up until January. I think we're going to have, decent fixtures now. I don't think we're going to play anyone from tops. I mean, we're going to play Spurs, but outside of that, we're not going to play anyone from top 6 or top 8 even, I think, at this point. So, West, what do you think we could possibly get out of this league? Because it seems like it's only November and we're in this position where we basically need to either win every single game up until January, kind of give up on it. Because I think if you go 8-9 points away from the league leaders in November, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to kind of get back, in contention even. And what competitions do you think we're gonna actually have a chance of winning? Because I think it would be a shame to kind of go through this first season with this pretty stellar squad that we have now without winning anything.
World Cup, well, the fixtures, like I'm like Drew, I'll take it one game at a time. I don't want to look. It's like Liverpool will win. Let's say we win against Nottingham first, then we look at other games that we predict wins. Then these guys go take our shitty performances. So fixtures, I look at one game at a time. One game at a time. Because at this point, there's no point of us judging because Liverpool can perform against Madrid. We were like City give us a performance and they gave us that. So like I think I'm gonna take it one game at a time. Nottingham Forest, then Leeds, right? Do you say Leeds? It's Nottingham Forest, PSV, Leeds, West Ham, Leeds, etc. So I'm taking one game at a time. Competitions that I think we should win, or maybe we can win, is the Champions League.
Yeah, I was actually thinking we can definitely, have a go, because at this point the league is going to be pretty difficult anyways. I think we just need to get top eight basically in the Champions League, and then we'll see, what happens after the round of 16. I think in the Champions League, when we've played, especially at Anfield, it was different. I think at Anfield, doesn't matter the season, we can pretty much beat anyone in the Champions League. But obviously we have to play an away game as well, so that's also a thing. We've seen our performance when going to Galatasaray in Turkey wasn't obviously the best, but then completely opposite to what happened against Madrid a few days ago. um, Drew, in my eyes, I think I kind of do agree with what West said. Just want to take it game by game. I'm just hoping that we can get a few wins in a row, and then we'll reassess basically in a few months. Uh, Top eight, we do have quite a few. I think we do have a few difficult games in the Champions League. We still have Marseille away, we have Inter away, um, but we just need to get top eight basically, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, same with West, like game at a time kind of thing. And then like we're always gonna have a chance. I wouldn't want to get paired up with like Bayern Munich right now, or that kind of scenario. Like Loki, even like Man City or Arsenal, or really any top team. Like at this stage, like who knows where we'll be as a team when it comes to that knockout stage in the Champions League. But I think we do need, like, the biggest thing is getting this team clicking. Like, I don't think, like, even if we win, like, we've already seen us win games, like, scrap a win, showing some bright moments, and then, like, went 4 losses in a row in the, Premier League on the bounce, like, that kind of thing. And even after all of that, it's like, can you still say what our best starting 11 is? Can you still see how we're gonna click? So for me, it's game at a time, and like Slot needs to find his best starting 11. Like I don't want to see every single attacking player we have thrown on as a sub at the end trying to chase a result. Like we've had that for probably like 8 games this season. Even the first like number that we won in final, last minute goals, like that was still throw on everybody who has an attacking flair, and hopefully we score. So it's game at a time for sure, and just like get the defense sorted and try to like get to know each other as players. Like we can't string 5 passes at sometimes, which we've all said. So I don't think you can look at the Premier League table and have any plans. Like I think we'll, again, as you all said, assess where we are at that point. But I'm not like putting any pressure. Like I'm not saying we have to be in the title hunt. I just think bare like low bar right now is get in the top 4. Like see where you are at that point. But most important thing is getting this team clicking.
Wait,
Uh,
to get that.
Go on.
No, for me, I'll just say, like, nah, at this point, man, don't look at the table. Just start getting wins. Don't look at the table. Forget about the table. Forget where we are. Just start getting wins yourself. Win step by step. Don't look at the table. Don't look, okay, if we win this game in Arsenal, no, just focus on us. Because I'm sick of this Arsenal chat in the group chat. It's annoying me because we are terrible. So just look at us, look at the table, just get your wins by yourself. And then we can talk. Maybe January we can talk. Now, okay, oh no, look at our fixtures. But for now, just get your wins.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that basically helped us during Klopp's tenure and now as well. We always managed to get wins together and not drop too many points. I think especially during the Chargers. Yeah, well, title challenges against Man City. I think towards the end of the leagues we always managed to put a run together while other teams like Arsenal drop points during that time. So who knows? Obviously, I think it's early days, and we're gonna see how things turn out. With that in mind, I think we're gonna end tonight's live stream. Thanks a lot to West, to Drew, for being here tonight. Thanks a lot to everyone who's been here and who liked, subscribe to the channel. Of course, please make sure to subscribe and also hit the bell icon because we're going to be streaming even during international break as well. So make sure to basically be here for those streams as well. So until then, thanks a lot once again.